Sailors Memorial Auditorium. Bobby Weir and Wolf Bros, live.
This time of year, I think an awful lot of us are looking ahead to the new year, things we want to accomplish, dreams and goals that we might have. And if for you, perhaps your child, one of those goals is a new career or a good career, you are in luck this morning because we have headed out to Tunnel Hill, Georgia, talking with Waylon Hasty, who is the owner of the Elite Lineman Training Institute. So nice to talk to you.
You as well. Thank you guys for coming.
I think this is a perfect time of year because this is happening in my own home. I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, so everything is kind of about to leap off into a new part of her life. And as a parent, it's hard to let go, and you want to make sure you're letting go in the right way. You want that to be a big kind of comfort for the people who come through your door here.
Yeah, 100%. So that's kind of the founding of us, right? Who we are, and our entire team here is we're here to serve and help. And the goal that we have, obviously with the mission statement, is to help develop young people. But what we want to do is just let them know, is this career path good for you? This is who we are, this is what we do, this is why we do it. And relay information to the young people or the parents and say, here's who we are and what we do. Does this appeal to you? And if it don't, that's okay. That's
right.
Just what we're here to do, is relay the information to them.
I think it's really interesting. When I popped on the website before coming down here today, I was expecting to be immediately in over my head because you've given me a bit of an education on what it is to be a lineman, but I know nothing. That did not happen to me though, Waylon. Instead, you'll see when you go on the website and it says our story, the first thing you begin to see and that your eye goes to is the God founding of you. You're very deep in your faith. You're not trying to preach to people when you're here, but that character development is really critical for you.
It is. It's a big part of who we are and what we do. So that's kind of the founding of the school. And it may seem a little odd, but that's who we are. Some of our students, obviously, we ask them to do reviews and stuff, and we've had more than one student just say we're the Chick-fil-A of line schools. and that's who we desire to be, because what we don't want to be is we don't want to be a place where people see us as a small operating business. Mm-hmm. Although that's who we are, that's not what we desire to do, because we want to invest in the students that show up. That's the goal.
Okay, let's talk about what happens when you're here, because you are truly sending people out into the world when they leave you after the 11 weeks. So you have 4 programs a year, correct? 4 classes a year.
That is correct.
That run 11 weeks.
They do, and essentially if you look at those on our website, what you may see is a date that's a little bit of a differentiator than a true quarter of the year. For example, in 23, our what we would call our second quarter class actually starts at the end of March.
Okay.
But the way the holidays fall with the week of the 4th and Thanksgiving and Christmas throughout a calendar year, essentially we run in the quarters. There is a little bit of overlap in how they start and finish, but it's right in those quarters, and we run 4 groups a year.
Okay, so let's talk to the parents out there who may have high school seniors. And like so many 18, 19-year-olds, they don't know what they want to do. A lot of us are questioning, is college the right path? Do you do something that's more of a trade? So they come to you as a high school graduate or with their GED.
Yep.
They can come to you.
Yes, ma'am.
They spend 11 weeks getting that character developed and learning all of it about what their future will look like as they proceed down that lineman path, correct?
That is correct. So if when they come to us, what we are is we want to be an option for those that don't want to go to college, right? That's all we are. And even those that don't want to go to college, we're not the only option. We're just an option, and we want to present that to people. So this is in the line work piece of things. When those, maybe the sons or daughters of those parents come to us, what I would tell them is we're going to present the facts of what this career looks like and what we do to help people start that path in the industry. Right. What we are not is when our students graduate, they're not linemen, they're not journeymen. They're getting prepared to go and begin that career, to start that path through what we do here.
Okay, but everybody is. At some point, everybody has to start the path
100%.
And hope that it ends in a good spot. The unsuredness of life is, are you going to be doing something that will still be in demand? Well, being a lineman is going to always be in demand. Job security is pretty strong, right?
It's huge. It's amazing. The investment that is going on throughout the United States of America for the grid itself, the electrical grid, is going on everywhere. Okay. For what's happening mostly talking to people in the business and knowing the business. Not always, because COVID threw a little bit of a kink, but material, logistics, all of those things are kind of coming together in what the demand looks like over the next 10 to 15 years. But the biggest need is labor, because it's really hard work. So that we have a 98, 99% hire rate. We have a 97% retention rate in the business since we were started in 19.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback on something you had told me off camera, because if you're the parent watching, you want your investment to mean something, and Waylon knows that. So you had worked for Georgia Power.
I did.
You knew kind of what it looked like when people would go through schools like this, or not like this.
Right.
And they would get hired on by Georgia Power. 16 would come in at a time. By the end of the 4 years of the lineman program, 3 were left. That's not a great retention rate for Georgia Power's investment. You do kind of the hard work, if you will, at the beginning of your 11 weeks. That retention rate is great, so people want to hire your guys.
Essentially, that's it, right? So what I always tell our team is, if what we do, everybody wins, let's do it. So in that conversation, the utility company wins, we win because we get the opportunity to invest, and the student wins because they get a good job. So it's a no-brainer in how we execute that. But essentially, from the outside looking in for the parent, we are there to invest in their student, but what the power companies are seeing, or the electric utility companies are seeing, is we're essentially vetting for them, right? So they know that when our guys graduate, they have a Class A CDL driver's license, they have all the tools and gear they need, they're not scared of heights and all that. That's what the power company sees. What the parent sees is what we desire to do in that investment of them through what we've developed as a character development piece of our curriculum. So the parents get to see the growth on the personal side. The utility companies get to see that. We get to see both, and we get to see them launch into a career.
Some people we're in the classroom, by the way, talking to you this morning. Some people are in their 30s who are here. Some people are 19 or 20 years old. So don't think if you're older that you can't come and find a home here. To the young ones, how often do you watch them develop and they come in as these kind of maybe shy, unsure of themselves kids, and in just 11 weeks they've got confidence?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Every class we have, it's humbling. Our whole team, it's the drive behind our team, because you see the shy young person. Some of them are 18, some of them are 23, 24. But you see them, when you begin to see their character development, you see them share things that they may not have always shared. When you ask them questions they may have never been asked before. And then when they get that load of personal heaviness off of them, and they get to take a deep breath in life and say, okay, now I know a little bit more about who I am. Let's see what I can do. Because that's one of the things that we teach. If you don't know who you are, you can't grow where you are. That's a part of our personal character development. So we try to peel back the onion of who they are, so that whether it's in this industry, or whether it's a husband, or whether they're a better son or a better brother or a better daughter, we want them to grow where they are. But we believe that if you don't know who you are, you can never do that. So we try to peel back the onion to help them figure out who they are.
You have, when you first come into the building, the way we came in, there are walls around you, and it's full of writings. The students in your program, do you call it a mission statement?
We do. It's a personal mission statement. So what drives that is, in the first 2 weeks of the program, we begin that process of that character development, and we ask them, why do you get out of bed every day? And you get that stare, that blank, like, I don't really know. Nobody's ever asked me that. I thought I was coming to a line school, right? And that's when we introduce you don't know. You got to be able to figure out who you are before you can grow in your career. And when we do that, what derives from that, as the process goes over 11 weeks, we ask them to tell us in a personal mission statement, why is it that you desire to get out of bed every day? Because life is bigger than a paycheck. And that's where those come from.
Okay, but I want to talk about the paycheck for a second. Okay. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
So this is what I think I know. You finished your 11 weeks here. Because of your contacts and your connections, you can help these guys get on them with their apprenticeship program. Before we went on camera, a couple of your guys were coming in with the phones on their ear, getting job interviews and job offers coming their way. So they start this apprenticeship program at young ages.
Yep.
They have to finish 4 years. Is it 10,000 hours on average?
It is. It's about 8 or 10,000. It depends on the program in the company, but it's about 8 or 10,000 working hours of on-the-job training.
That's a lot of training. That's a professional person now at the end of that time. But before they complete it, it's not unusual for them to be making more than $100,000 a year.
It's not. It's not unusual at all.
A year or two out of your program.
No. Some of the guys within the first calendar year will hit that 6-figure mark. Obviously, that's not 100% of the guys,
Sure.
but it's not too far-fetched. And the reason of it is because in the electric utility industry, especially in the Southeast, there's a sense of, for the consumer, that's a really good thing. There's a sense of urgency when the lights go out. So when the lights go out, if you're in this business, you go to work. It's just what you do. Whether you desire to or not, it's a part of it, right? So obviously for our guys that have paid to come here, they've got all the certifications, tools, and gear they need. When they go into the business, that's why they go into it, to make that kind of money.
Right.
So their desire to work that overtime is there, and that's where those 6 figures reveal.
So if you can't put in as much overtime as your buddy, is that a problem?
It can be, and it depends on where you work, right? So that depends on, the industry is very broad in the expectation of that. So if it's in the contractor world, there's going to be some things that are geographic, right? So there may not be a lot of work necessarily right here, but there'll be a lot of work in Atlanta, a lot of work in Birmingham, in the Southeast.
Do you see why I wanted just to talk to him today? Because I know nothing about being a lineman. I know now that it's very interesting. I know it should create a lot of respect from people.
Yes.
You are as professional as anybody out there would be. And to think that he has this passion to take care of your child, or you, if you're the one wanting to come. He's interested in more than just what you do up there on that pole. It's what's in here.
It is, because we want our students to grow.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Here's how you can reach them online, which you see there. You're also welcome to give them a call. And just don't forget that essentially every 11 weeks, a new class will be starting. You could be part of the next one.
Thank you.
Seems like CVD stores are popping up on every corner. Make sure you